Hey guys, NCS Fan 001 here, welcoming you to another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is Monday, September 30th, 2019. So this will have covered September 23rd through 29th of 2019. So last update for the month of September, and this is actually going up on the day that I start my new job. So yeah, by the time that this goes up, I will have finished off my first day at a new place. So actually pretty excited about this one, especially greatly compared to my old one. Anyway, this week was pretty uneventful in trophies because of a couple things. I was busy getting the rest of my stuff moved in and set up in my apartment. That I was getting few other things done to prepare for my job, and then stuff like that for the most part. And then I was working heavily on Borderlands 3 all week, so this game, it took quite a bit of time, so we will get to that in a moment. I also played Destiny 2 this week and got another exotic, as to be expected. I hate when they put the flashpoint on Mars. That is my least favorite place for the flashpoint. It's annoying because the escalation protocol doesn't seem to count toward the flashpoint for some reason. Maybe I'm just missing something, but I don't think it does, so that's kind of weird and kind of dumb. I don't really know why they did that. Or I'm just really stupid, which is also a possibility. But hey, I got another exotic. I'm getting closer, slowly getting there. Eventually, I'll be there within maybe a few more months. And I got a good number of legendary shards this week, plus soon enough, they're going to be making it so that the Eververse items dismantle into legendary shards, which is good for trading with Xur. But also in the news of Destiny 2, apparently the Shadowkeep DLC, so the Year 3 expansion, is supposed to come out on October 1st, so the day after this video goes up. That's what I've heard. I don't know exactly how true that is, but that's what I've been hearing. So if that's true, then that's cool. So I guess that means we'll be getting the second DLC for the game soon. I don't know when I'll buy the DLC, probably when it goes on sale, the same way as the Forsaken DLC, which took a while to go on sale and it wasn't really worth buying before that. But hey, it's something I'll get eventually. It would be amazing if it didn't have any DLC trophies, but I know it will, so I'm not going to be too confident in that. Anyway, the only game I earned trophies in this week was Borderlands 3. It was also my only platinum of the week, but hey, I got a platinum this week, so that's always good. Platinum number 401. So the trophies that I earned this week, it was a good number of them. So I reached level 25 and then level 50. Level 50 is actually not that hard to get in this game. You don't even really have to go into true Vault Hunter mode because of all the other stuff you can do in the game. Just all the side activities and the side missions and stuff. You can really level up to 50 pretty easily in this one without ever going into true Vault Hunter mode. I didn't even have to touch it. I didn't even have to touch Mayhem mode either. So you can level up very quickly in this game compared to some of the others in terms of being able to get it done before you finish some of the other trophies in the game. I got the 10 character heads or skins. This trophy has been reported to be glitched by some, but I did not run into any problems with it, thankfully. Then I earned this one. This is the last trophy I got, and it gave me way more trouble than I expected it to. You have to get a perfect score at the firing range. Now, a lot of people say this is easy. I know it's not very difficult if you do it in co-op, but I didn't have anyone to do it in co-op with. So I ended up just having to keep trying at it solo because I wanted to go ahead and try to get it done, and I just could not do it. Like, I could use COV weapons, I could use Hyperion weapons, I could use Doll weapons. It didn't matter because constantly I'd have the little reticle over the target and it would still manage to miss constantly. Even if I was aiming down sight, it would miss. It's like the shots would just either phase through it or just barely phase over the top or just barely under it. It was ridiculous. Like, I don't know what was going on with it. Plus, my targets felt like they were disappearing just way too fast, like within a second of actually popping up. So it was just really difficult. So I struggled with this one a lot more than I expected for a solo player even. I eventually got it, though, by using the Iron Bear to do it. So thankfully, I got it through that method. And I used the 2 miniguns on it, and they weren't really upgraded because I respec'd my character recently so I could do the Circles of Slaughter, so I'll show off that, or not show that off, but talk about that in a second. The items from Crazy Earl, these take Iridium. This is not really difficult, but you're gonna want to do all 20 items at once, just in case it glitches, because people have reported it glitching and it costs so much Iridium that you really don't want that to happen. So back up your save as well before you try to do this, just to be safe. Then you have the Iridium slabs. There are 30 of them that are located around the map. Most of them I actually ended up finding a lot of them sort of naturally. Never really had to look at much of a guide for these. But they are, you just go up to them, hit square, and you decipher them. There are 30 in the game. This trophy is glitched, and it glitched on me. But this one is thankfully pretty easy to fix. You fix it by rescanning the one in Tannis's office, or not really office, but just the medical bay on Sanctuary over and over again. Keep scanning that one, and eventually it should count. I had to scan it about 5 or 6 extra times to make it work, but that's that. Then there's the Circles of Slaughter. These are a lot worse in this game than I expected. The first two aren't too bad. The ones against animals and COV are not too bad. I got through both of them without too much trouble. Now, I was playing on easy for those because I did everything in the game on normal except for the Circles of Slaughter because they are pretty challenging to do, especially solo. They aren't terrible in co-op, but they are pretty brutal to do on solo. Now, admittedly, for those first two, I did not have my character respect for what I have now. I now have it as basically a splash damage build where critical hits equal splash damage and stuff like that. But when I did this trophy, the first two I did separately. I did them that way, and then the last one I did on Sunday with the new character, and I'll get more into that in just a moment. But the first two aren't terrible because the enemies aren't too bad. But for some reason, they designed the Circles of Slaughter to be a lot more like the Mad Moxie DLC from Borderlands 1, where there's actually multiple waves per round, and there's 5 rounds. So I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, as well as having them scale to your level. It plays just like the Mad Moxie DLC. I assume you can exploit it the same way by having someone start it at a lower level, and then you join into their game, and the enemies are going to be down at the host level. So I assume you can exploit it in that method, but you don't access the last Circle of Slaughter until very late in the game, so you're already going to be in your 40s most likely when you find it, so it's not going to provide a huge advantage, but it is a definite advantage. Now, the very last Circle of Slaughter, the Slaughter Star 3000, is really difficult, just because, like, the 5th round just takes absolutely forever because it piles on absurd numbers of enemies. There's a boss fight on the last chapter against 2 gigantic robots. It's just a mess. It's not a good thing in this game. It takes way too long. It's not fun. It's not very well made unless you're playing it in co-op where it's more playable but still going to be fairly challenging. So this is definitely the hardest trophy in the game. I ended up, since I did not feel like bothering with finding people to do it in co-op, I ended up just using an exploit in the game that you can use to have infinite health. You take one of the class relics, or whatever it's, maybe not class, not class mods, relics, that's what it is. You take one of those, and it has to be the one that gives you temporary invulnerability when your health drops below 50%. Activate it, like by putting it in your slot, then take enough damage to drop below 50% health, then drop the relic from your inventory, and let yourself heal back up, and you should then be invincible. And I ended up doing that for that 5th wave, or 5th round entirely, just to make it a little bit easier on myself, because I just did not want to keep dealing with it, because I had already failed it on the 5th wave at really not much fault of my own, because I still don't really understand how I died. I didn't really think I got hit by anything, but I guess it counted that I did somehow. I don't really know, but I mean, I got through it by using the exploit. I would highly recommend using that if you can. By the time this video goes up, it might be patched, you never know. So then we have the locations trophies. There are 223 locations. The Pandora locations are not too bad. And don't even try to do this until you finished all the side missions and all the story missions, because some of them take you to specific areas. Eden 6 has one really, really jerkish location. It's like you basically have to be touching a sign in like a tiny corner of the main area of Eden 6 to do it. If you check out the trophy guide, because me and 2 other guys actually published a trophy guide for the game on PSN Profiles. It's now up if you want to be looking at that. It'll help you out on your road to platinuming this game. So that's the one location that's bad. The rest of them aren't too bad. Promethea is not too bad. It doesn't have as many. Necrotafeo only has like 20 to 30 locations, so it's fewer. There's 223 total. Most of them are on those first 4 planets. There's a few on the Athenas planet that are all pretty tough to miss. There's Slaughter Star 3000 has 1, and then 1 at each of the Proving Grounds. The side missions, there are 75 total you have to do. You do not have to do the rare spawn missions that appear on Sanctuary, thankfully, because those are terrible. They're completely random. There's no guaranteeing when or where you'll get them. I think it has to do with, they're basically like a viral mission where someone on your friends list does one and then you get the opportunity to do it. It's kind of weird. But you only have to do the 75 core side missions. Most of them are regular side missions, then there are 12 related to the Proving Grounds and 4 related to the Slaughters, Circles of Slaughter, so 16 related to other stuff. So I guess it's 59 like true side missions, which is fewer than normal. The Iridium Proving Grounds are actually pretty easy. They do scale to your level, but they're pretty simple for the most part because they're just 3 small arenas where you have to clear out the enemies and then kill a final boss, and you have to do it all in half an hour. It's really not too hard. I didn't struggle with any of them. I only died a couple times in it. So nothing much to worry about there. Then you have the Legendary Hunts and the Targets of Opportunity are both crew challenges. There are 10 of each, and you can just look at a guide for those to find them. They are not too hard to find. There's some on pretty much every planet, but they really aren't too hard to find. They don't scale to your level, so you shouldn't have any problem with them. This one, I'm kind of surprised I didn't have this one already, but you have to have a sticky grenade. It doesn't even have to stick to anyone, you just have to get a double kill with it, so just get a sticky grenade and use it against weak enemies on Pandora somewhere, and you're good to go. The purple rarity gear are better in every slot. You can't do this until you've completed the 16th mission of the game when you gain access to the artifact slot, but otherwise it's not too difficult because purple rarity isn't even the highest rarity, orange is. So you shouldn't have too much trouble doing that in the post-game cleanup. The loyalty package from weapons manufacturers, that's kind of a cool thing where now for every 100 kills you get with a specific weapons manufacturer's weapons, you get a loyalty package, which gives you a free gun. And a lot of these can actually be quite good. They're going to be closer to your level, and many of them are pretty good. You have to get 100 kills with each of the 9 different weapons manufacturers. You'll get most of them through natural progression, but you might be missing a few depending on your personal weapons preferences. I ended up, like, the only 2 I wasn't typically getting were TDR and COV. So those were my 2 that I was sort of struggling with getting just because I wasn't getting a lot of good weapons from either of those weapons manufacturers and switching around a lot between the others, but not difficult at all, and plus you can grind it very easily on Pandora if you don't get it through natural progression. And then finally, some story-related trophies. So I finished off the story, obviously, to get the platinum. The story missions are not too difficult. There's a couple times where you might get hung up, but for the most part, it's pretty easy in this game. And I did the whole thing on normal and without playing in co-op, so you really shouldn't have too many problems doing it. So don't worry much at all about the single player. It shouldn't give you too much trouble. Even the final boss is actually pretty easy in this game. Very similar to the first game, which is I wouldn't say ironic, but I guess almost very fitting given what the final boss is in this game. And then finally, this is also a story-related trophy. You'll earn it about 2 missions before you complete the story from getting the 4 vault rewards, so also pretty much unmissable. So let's go ahead and sync up our trophies. With that, level 69, 19%, 17,144 total trophies, 401 platinums, 2,275 golds, 4,402 silvers, 10,066 bronzes. So, plans for the next week or couple weeks. Anyway, with these next few weeks, I'm starting out my job, obviously, the day this video goes up, so I don't know, I don't think it's going to take up, like, too much of my night times, as long as it doesn't, like, just tire me out or something, which I don't think it will. So hopefully schedules will be back soon pretty much to normal of, Monday trophy list update, Tuesday platinum trophy video, Wednesday stream, Thursday usually open, Friday drunk stream, Saturday open, Sunday maybe open, maybe a trophy video, maybe a trophy list analysis at some point during the week depending on the games coming out. Because I know that we'll get the Modern Warfare remastered, or not remastered, but Modern Warfare and Outer Worlds trophy list soon, and I know that the Modern Warfare trophy list actually leaked, it was a claimed leak that only had like 28 trophies, which initially made me think that it was probably fake, but given that apparently the Spec Ops is going to be a timed exclusive on PS4 for a full year, it makes me kind of wonder maybe that is the actual list and there aren't going to be any trophies for Spec Ops purely because Xbox and PC wouldn't be able to get achievements until a year down the line. I don't really know if that would be the case, but it could be plausible, so we'll have to see about that. I don't really know. So those are some of the games that are upcoming. Those are the only two games I'm thinking of picking up in the near future, but I'm sure that there's others that I'm forgetting. Death Stranding won't be day one for me because I still don't even understand what the game is or what it's supposed to be. I'll just wait to pick it up at some point later on when it's a little bit cheaper. But otherwise, this week I don't know what I'm going to be focusing on this week now that Borderlands 3 is done. Maybe just continuing on with a few easy platinums here and there. Maybe just finding something else easy to work on. I did get a Gamefly game I got actually near Automata, so I'm actually kind of excited to play that game because I've heard good things about it. Plus, it's a pretty easy platinum, so maybe I'll be playing that one some this week. Otherwise, though, after this week, the plans are starting next week, since this is also my birthday week, by the way, so that's going to be messing with the schedule some because I'm going to have my family here from like Thursday through Sunday. So because of that, I'm not going to be able to stream those days. I'll be working, then coming home, be getting some good food, probably doing a little bit of gaming, but definitely not streaming or anything. This Saturday, there actually isn't a Clemson game this Saturday, but there's, of course, other football that I'll be watching all day or live PD or stuff like that, because I still like some TV stuff. So, really not this week, but probably next week is when we get the schedule fully back on track. Plus, hopefully next week is when I'm going to be starting on 2 games. I want to get started on the DLC for Resident Evil 5 on PS3. If anyone out there happens to have 2 PS3s and 2 copies of Resident Evil 5, please hit me up and we can boost that game together. We can boost all the 4-player stuff. That'll make it go much, much faster with only 2 people because we can always be on the same team. So that'll speed it up a lot to where maybe it'll only take about less than 10 hours probably to finish all the 4-player stuff. Probably less than 10 hours with just 2 people doing it. The other one is Far Cry 2 because actually someone just posted a trophy guide for the game. Not a trophy guide, but a trophy walkthrough for the multiplayer. And because of that, it makes me a little more confident in knowing exactly what I'm going to have to do in order to get that platinum, that trophy online stuff. Aside from the 16-player trophy, of course, everything can be done with 2 or 3 people. I mean, some things require 3 people, the multi-kills and stuff, which kind of sucks because it's very, very time-consuming, but it is something that I would like to do. I just need to get another person. I think I have a couple people that might be wanting to do Far Cry 2 to do the multi-kills and the revives, whereas all the other stuff you can grind just with a second console, as well as the XP, and then the 16-player trophy, which is going to suck, but hopefully I can find a group to do it with. I mean, at least it's not as bad as some games like Homefront. This one, you just have to win the match with 16 players in it, and so it can be done in under an hour if everyone cooperates. So that's a good thing. There's that, and then after those 2 games are done, I'm eventually going to do Wolfenstein 09. I want to do that one, but I need to pick up a couple copies of the game because I don't have any copies of it yet. But someone posted a trophy walkthrough of that game's online as well, and it's only like 15 hours, they said, which actually isn't too bad with 2 consoles, so that shouldn't be too bad. I can definitely pull that one off. Whoever did the Far Cry 2 one said it's only like 40 to 50 hours for the multiplayer if you're just boosting with 2 people, or with 2 of your own consoles plus the 3-player stuff, so probably like 50-ish hours. That's actually not quite as bad as I expected it to be, so hopefully that's true, because if so, that makes me feel a little more relief, because then I could just, do it for 2 hours a day and be done in a month, so that wouldn't be too bad if that ends up happening, as long as the 16-player and 3-player stuff works out as well. So those are the plans for future boosting games. Those are the last 2 PS3 games that I don't have on my list yet that I'm going to start that have multiplayer. After those 2 are done, I'm not going to be putting any more old PS3 games on my list that have multiplayer. It's just not worth it anymore, really. So that's just a note for the future. Just stick with PS4 games if there's going to be anything with multiplayer. There are other PS3 games I want to do, though, and I ended up actually re-downloading some of them when I had to reset my PS3. So that's going to be it for this week, guys. So this coming week, not too many things are going to be going on. Maybe Nier Automata and a couple easy platinums here and there somewhere. Probably a stream on Wednesday, but that's about it. And then hopefully the week after, get started on a couple of old PS3 games. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you later this week and next week.